MLS Matchday 1 is officially in the books, ladies and gentlemen, which means we're back here at Wake Up MLS again to unpack all of the action. There was a lot of it. The 2025 season has kicked off in a massive way, and already pretty big upsets, some crazy score lines. We'll talk about all of it, all the action in between. And as usual, Wake Up MLS, I'm joined by a great cast and crew today. Again, we have Hector from Insert Name FC, John from Loud and Proud Orlando, and we got Davi from the Blue Boroughs Pod here tonight again to help us break down what we saw in week one, what really stood out to us as far as headlines go, and answering some questions around key takeaways along the way. All right, guys, we're not going to break down every match in detail. Going to really focus on high-level key takeaways and storylines heading into match day 2. All right, guys, let's waste no more time. First big question. Kind of curious how you guys are thinking about this. We'll start with Hector. We'll kind of go round table from there. Let's look at the biggest surprise from week 1, right? And there were some, right? There's probably a couple on either side of the conference table here. Hector, when you look at this, good or bad, what was maybe the one big shock or one big surprise for you as far as match day 1 matches go?
I think initially going into the season with all the drama that's been stirring around Vancouver, you thought that there could probably be a distraction going on with that team, a potential relocation of that team, insert Ryan Reynolds at some point in this conversation as well. Like all the things you could think of when it came to Vancouver, and to kick things off with a cascading rivalry with Portland, and to now in the last 2 meetings between Portland and Vancouver have outscored them 9-1. So
Portland fans are down bad, bro. Not even Evander could save this team.
Not even Evander could save this team. And also, big shout out to Jaden Nelson, man. 4 goals and assists contributions for on his performance, man. But yeah, I wasn't expecting much. I thought Portland was also going to be a big step up this year, and I'm sure it's still up there in discussion. But I think Vancouver. I think a lot of people were expecting a dip in Vancouver this year. I'm sure someone's going to raise their hand right now and say I did not expect that. But I think with the drama, I think that all was circling around Vancouver. You lose your coach, and this core of players was like, hey, we're still here, and we're still going to compete. And that's exactly what they did on opening day.
Yeah, 100%, bro. I mean, look, the Nelson was just on another fucking level. Ryan Gall's goal, kind of vintage Ryan Gall from my perspective. I feel like Vancouver, I'm not sure what the historical head-to-head is. I'm sure Portland probably owns it with how good they've been in recent seasons, just collectively across recent MLS. But lately, last couple seasons, man, I think Vancouver's had a lot to say about how this rivalry continues to develop. I think, man, at the end of the day, Kamal Miller's red card absolutely fucked Portland at home too. Probably one of the worst feelings you could have, right? Like in an opening match of the season, just 10 minutes in, 11 minutes in, your team gets a red card against someone that they traded for last season. That was supposed to be their one big kind of defensive signing. And bro, he has kicked off 2025 in the worst way possible. And yeah, like you said it, man, 9 goals against them. Holy shit. In 2 games. It's kind of crazy.
I mean, they literally started 2025 the same way they ended 2024.
And was this at Portland?
It was at Portland.
It was at Providence Park, yeah. Dude, it's
Vancouver's
crazy, bro.
new home. Vancouver's new home.
It's their training ground, bro. It's where they go to practice.
So overall,
no monster truck rally needed.
No monster truck rally needed. Bro, by the way, I got into an epic debate in the comments last week with that whole, me being firmly not opposed, I should say, to Vancouver getting sold to another market, another ownership group entirely. But with that said, I'm curious for how that Vancouver fans and Whitecaps fans feel now in general, just knowing what going into this, this season, reading into this matchup. I don't know if they're the most excited fan base, but maybe this is a step in the direction they want to see the team going, which is staying put, I'm sure, right there in British Columbia. So, yeah, man, no monster truck rally needed, but I'm sure that some of that was motivation for how they wanted to open up this season. So
yeah, overall, Portland has the slight edge over Vancouver all-time head-to-head.
Head-to-head, okay, yeah. So that's what I figured. Portland, outside of like the last few years, has actually been a pretty damn good team in Major League Soccer. So not surprising, but I'm willing to bet that Vancouver's slowly closing that gap. All right, John, let's go over to you, man. I'm kind of curious. Your one big surprise, good or bad?
I'm going to go San Jose, and I know that everyone was very hyped about them preseason, but like to come out of the blocks with 4-0, I think is really impressive. Obviously, all the pieces are there and fitting together already. Bruce has got the guys going. It wasn't even really the stars that scored. It was typical Bruce like style where all these other, squad players are the ones getting the goals from 4 different players. So I was really impressed with San Jose for sure. And then the other honorable mention has got to go, and I don't know no one has this because all I'm hearing about right now is San Diego. So if your city begins with San, you must be pretty happy after game day 1.
Oh, hell
So
yeah.
both of those cities, but really impressed by San Jose, and then San Diego obviously beating the Galaxy is a massive surprise and upset in my opinion on game day 1 as well.
Yeah. You know what's crazy, man? So mine wasn't San Diego. I know everyone's going to focus on that because they're the expansion team. Mine's actually reversed, and it's more of the Galaxy who surprised me negatively. I see the hype around San Diego. I think it's a positive for Major League Soccer, despite how many of those fans feel about the manner in which they acquired their spot in this league and how the ownership group approached it. But putting all that aside, and yeah, fantastic win, right, for the opening game of MLS. They may have, was it 2023 St. Louis City vibes, right? Where like everything's new, exciting, it carries them into some great form. We'll find out. But I think equally on the other side, the Galaxy were a massive disappointment. There's no other way to put it. Defending champions, opening game of the season at home, and not only do you lose, you get shut out in the process, right? Like that to me is, I don't care what anybody really says, right? Oh, they were missing Ricky Puig, oh, they had other players exit, right? Marky Delgado was gone. Brugman, who got the assist in the MLS Cup final, he was gone. And look, Paintel too, right? And a very important part of their attack. Jovic also gone. Like a lot of pieces missing. I understand that, but at the same time, right? Marco Royce is fully healthy. Fagundes has to be healthy and fit, itching and getting ready to go after a long off season. You sign guys like Lucas Sanabria. You sign, I can't remember who that center back's name is, the very experienced one. They've made some moves, and I was very impressed with Greg Vanney after the 2024 season, expecting him to make the adjustments needed to be competitive in 2025. And I'm still expecting that, but this one is a little bit of a dent to that, like just slightly, right? It's like, bro, like what kind of season is it going to be if it takes 2 months for Paintel to come back? And we may not see Ricky Puig until the final, third of the year, maybe? So I don't know, man. Maybe I'm reading too much into this, but this to me was a pretty shocking result from my perspective. I could see them like draw the game, even lose, but if they lose, they get goals. None of that was on display. Gabriel Peck seemed to be very, very frustrated. So,
for sure.
I
had
think
them down.
And I think for me, when we were previewing the when we did our preview video, I felt that there was going to be a dip for LA Galaxy in this because right now, this is not the most ideal start to the season. You lost a lot of players, and I know you don't want to use that as an excuse, but those guys, it's not just any player. You're talking about crucial pieces to the team, and that speaks a lot of volume. And I think for the LA Galaxy, I aside from losing 2-0, I think that it was just once again mistakes that were getting exploited. Obviously, a very dumb pass that led to a goal. Very very Ethan Bartlow-esque as well. So at least I know it's not the most embarrassing thing to happen in the game. But I think with LA, like I said, I feel like this team's going to take a dip, and it's because they're going into start the season very rough. And I still believe once the team is fully healthy, they'll be very much a dangerous team. But as far as them being top in the West, I don't see that happening for them this year just because they're going to be in quite the hole.
Yeah. Keep in mind, too, bro, multiple competitions.
Yeah,
I'm really interested to see what happens with this team in more significant games, tougher games than what they're going to get against newly expanded side San Diego FC. So, yeah, man, we'll find out. Again, let us know how you guys feel in the comments down below, man. This is a big one for me. Defending champions, we could see potentially, right, one of the biggest drop-offs from a former champion. And this was a shout that I think the Crew were getting a lot last year after what they did in 2023. And having multiple competitions, losing key players along the way, it will have an impact, 100%. We'll just see how big of an impact it actually has. Davi, before we wrap up and move on to the next topic, who'd you have?
San Diego.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. 100%.
Yeah, dude, take about San Diego. That was incredible. To go in there as an expansion club, into who you'd presume would be one of your biggest rivals in the Galaxy. You know, they're coming off their 6th season, and just to go into a building where they haven't lost in 2020 since 2023, and hand them their first L like that. To come in there, come in with a proper game plan, press them, and force them into mistakes that they wouldn't usually make, and come out of there with 3 points. And the fans as well showed up in numbers, and that took me by surprise. I mean, that 1-2 at the end to kill it, that was amazing. That's just
For real.
That's sexy football right there. Just the way they curve the passes and everything, and it's brilliant. Just brilliant finish and passing and everything. So I'm really really impressed by San Diego, because usually you don't expect expansion teams to come into the league, and especially against the defending champion from the prior season, to go in there and get the 3 points, especially in an away game. So unfortunately, my club is going to be playing at the same time as their home opener, so I won't be able to watch San Diego next week. But I think they have something special to look forward to next week at Snapdragon.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll definitely talk about it on this channel. Okay, we're going to preview that game, San Diego and St. Louis. But before we get to any of that, let's move on to the next topic, guys. New signing shout-outs. Kind of curious how you guys are feeling about some of the new guys repping their new badges, their new colors, how they performed in week 1. I'll kind of kick this off, man, and I'm going to take a dig at Hector with this one because it was amazing. But Texas Derby, man, his very first one playing. Anderson Julio, for me, it's a little bit of a homer pick. I don't give a damn. I really like this guy a lot. I think his speed is on full display, and I still can't believe all we had to do was trade Sam Junka. Again, Junka's a great player, great utility player. To get this guy and this much athleticism and speed in our front line, it'll be really interesting to see how we add just this element of verticality to Dallas's offense moving forward. But kind of a quiet first half. Second half broke things wide open. Him and Musa should have, I think, more than a few interesting goal combination opportunities between even just them two moving forward for the rest of the season. So that trade with RSL already paying off. And as we saw against San Jose in that game that John alluded to, they could use someone like Anderson Julio bad. So, yeah, man, his first Texas Derby, his first goal.
Shouldn't have counted. It was a foul.
I'll take those and we move. It's kind of, it was a little bit questionable. I will say that it felt 50-50, but fuck it. I'll take those, man. We move. All right. Who's got another one for a shout out?
I'm gonna go to Hot Atlanta. Emmanuel Latte Laf. I know everyone was gonna think about the other guy that was brought in, but you know what? 2 goals in his debut. That's probably as good as it gets as a new signing. And yeah, I mean, obviously the moment was big. It was all about Miggy's return to Atlanta, Hot Atlanta. Everybody was thinking about that this was the one that got away from Atlanta, but it did not, man. And Latte Loft, man. I think hopefully if you can keep doing this stuff, man, baby, you're a firework.
Hell yeah, I like that. Another Katy Perry reference. I like that. Big dubs. Let me ask you guys: is Latte Loft our 2 goals in his opener? Is he the favorite for the Golden Boot?
No, I think that's wide open. That might be a shootout with him, Denke, and some other guys, maybe.
Yeah, because Denke also scored, right? So it's like it almost just who do you have more faith in? I don't know why I rate Latte Loft.
Dreyer's got 2 goals already for the season too.
I think you just rate Latte Loft more because of the price tag. You have to remember that. Like it sometimes like production is production, right? You look at the opening day, and some guys scored a brace. Yes, Latte Loft was one of them, but there's other guys in the league that scored a brace that cost nowhere near as much money on their opening debut too. So it's all relative, I feel like definitely Denke is my thought for right now being that guy for
this might be a homer pick, but a sleeper, Alonso Martinez.
Stop trying to make Alonso happen, bro. He's a good striker. He's a good striker. I don't know about Golden Boot.
Striker,
yeah. I don't know if a Golden Boot's coming out of New York, to be fair.
I mean, he had the highest goal. He had the highest goals per 90 behind Messi and Suarez last season.
No, I know. Yeah, he was. Like,
but you need the rest of the team to be really good and on.
Yeah, which is fair, but I mean.
And you haven't replaced Santi yet either. That's the big thing. It's like he's just like the pieces around him have to be there. But I can see him being heavily involved, 100%.
Which I think there's probably a reasoning why we lost Santi Rodriguez. If you guys saw the Bielsa quote.
Yeah, I did see that. We talked about it a little bit on Goals TV as well.
But yeah, Latte Loft, you're a firework. Go and show him what you're worth. Go and show him what you're worth.
I think the only well, clearly he's worth $22 million, at least to Atlanta. But I think the only reason I'm saying Latte Loft even more so than the price tag, John, is also that I think it's the league that he comes from. I don't know if it's the fact that I don't rate the Belgian league. I think it's more the fact that like the championship is a very proven physical league. And I feel like even without their 3 DPs, Atlanta was finding a way to generate real opportunities in the second half of last season. If Latte Loft gets even half of those, I feel like he's going to bag them, unless for some reason he just goes through a weird negative patch of form. But we'll see. I think either way, those two guys are probably favorites to be right up there at the end. I don't see a scenario where Benteke is going to repeat his golden boot, right? Like I don't see that. Nothing against DC, but for him to do it twice and they don't make playoffs in back-to-back seasons, that would be shocking. That would be amazing. All right, so we got Latte Loft for Hector. Who else got a different one?
Yeah, I got a different one. I feel like it's a returning one, but Jaden Nelson. I feel like he had such a really good opening game day. He was up there on the top of my list, and then I honorable mentions to Denke, of course. Like we talked about him, but he's been playing Champions League. We've seen him there, but he does look good and scored in MLS as well. Bamba is another one that I was kind of impressed with for Chicago. And Pasalic for Orlando City, man, had a really good opening debut for us despite the loss. So that's another one. There's lots of guys on their debut scoring goals. And the other one I had down was Dreyer, Anders Dreyer. What a great debut for him and San Diego.
I wonder if he keeps going. That's like a big, I think storyline I'm following moving forward is how real are these wingers in San Diego? I think Chucky Lozano is. I thought he had a great game. Like if he had finished that one opportunity that was a fantastic save and that one-on-one with the keeper, I think he probably would have been man of the match, even if Dreyer had the extra goal out of him.
Miscommunication too with the back pass that one would have been slotted.
Yeah, 100%. So it's just like, again, like I don't know if Dreyer remains the guy. I'd be really curious to see if he does, but I feel like Chucky Lozano is going to continue to have more to say throughout the season because I thought he played very, very well. At least as a tried and true winger, right? He brought like everything you want to the table. Davi, anybody different before we go?
Dreyer, just to continue on with the San Diego.
Yeah. San Diego hype. Yeah, I feel that, bro. I feel that. Always are great shouts. Guys, anybody else that we might have missed that you thought performed extremely well in match day 1 as a brand new signing, let us know in the comments down below. All right, man. We got to do it. We do a lot of things way too fucking early on this show. Let's just go ahead and throw it out there, man. Probably get some heat for it in the comments, but let's see how everybody feels. Way too early MVP candidates. Yes, we are talking MVP after match day 1.
I'll be honest, suspended, but Lionel Messi.
I mean, look, he's the defending MVP. He probably will be. I mean, let's be real, guys. He's probably going to be MVP again. Like, unless something crazy happens.
Unless he gets hurt or something.
Yeah, or even then, bro, he got hurt for 2.5 months last season. Didn't fucking matter. He still won.
They need to just make a new award that's the Messi Award. Give that to him, and then they can give the MVP to someone else.
It's facts, bro.
Honestly, I would not be against if they rebranded the MVP award as the Messi
because it's Land Donovan currently.
Not against that idea.
Yeah, 100%. I'm not against that either. Not opposed. But I think. Like when we bring this up on a weekly basis or occasionally on the show, this is how we should think about it, right? Is how see, in all seriousness, without trolling, who's actually had a performance worthy of maybe going toe to toe with Messi in any given week because he is the defending MVP, right? So for me, I'll confidently say, from my perspective, it's just kind of too soon. I think Latte Loft probably had the single best performance outside maybe what. Nelson. I think with how dramatic the Atlanta-Montreal game was, it also added an element to that for me. Dreyer had a couple goals. Jay Nelson had a hat trick of assists. There were some definite standout performance statistically, but I don't know. For me, it seems like a little bit too soon. What do you guys think? Anybody here?
The reason why I put Messi is just because in this game against NYCFC, at the end of the day, he's inevitable. Yeah. When it comes down to it, and that's what an MVP is when things start getting rough, who do you look at? And it's the guy that just makes things happen. Unfortunately, as you love them or you hate them, or maybe you're in between. But this is the Messi show, and we're just a part of it.
It's fucking bullshit. I knew they were gonna tie. I knew they were gonna tie. As soon as they added 11, I knew they were gonna fucking tie.
Yeah.
It was too good to be true. But you know what?
It was, bro.
Fun fact: 100%. This is NYCFC's first point on opening day since 2019. So
that's insane.
Ever since 2020, they've been losing the opening game, and we're already ahead of schedule with 1
point.
Yeah, we're already ahead of schedule with Pascal Janssen. So.
Bro, I knew it. I knew Davi's gonna bring this shit back to like this is why Cushing should have been fired, bro.
Make the graphic,
dude. I mean,
make the graphic with Pascal first managed to get a point.
I want to see that hung out there, right? Yeah, I want to see those banners, those tifos. The Janssen era has begun in NYCFC. Tell you what, though, if he had won the game, bro, if he had won the fucking game in Miami, that would have been insane of a win.
Upset of the week.
For sure, 100%.
Also, back-to-back opening day draws for Miami.
yeah, that's kind of crazy. I believe in like week 2 or week 3 last season, Miami also lost, I believe, to Montreal. So we'll see what happens. They get Houston this week.
You're not sure. Not like you were flaunting that all last year.
I don't know if it's week 2 or week 3 is what I'm unsure of. I'll have to go back and look at that. But I do know it was early in the season because I was letting all the haters know it was amazing. And then that was short lived if you're a Montreal fan. But outside of that, yeah, man, it's hard, man. Like Messi is very clearly still the front runner, I think, unless John has someone that he can make a strong case for.
Nah, I think we're gonna have to wait a while before we really feel like there's somebody that could challenge Messi, and there's got to be someone that has that star quality too. You know what I mean? It's not just the field of play. Like so often, these MVP votes are impacted by the fact that Messi has that appeal. So maybe like Evander, if he has an incredible season with Cincy and just balls out even more than he did with Portland, I feel like he has that kind of persona to maybe steal it, but it's going to be hard to take it from Messi.
Especially if he could build a relationship with Denki. I think that's going to be a really good shot. And I mean, you can even say that about the Miggy Latte Loft experience.
And that is literally a way too early shout, but that's my one.
Yeah, fair enough.
I've got one that's kind of flown under the radar. Diego Rossi.
Player?
No, it's Diego Rossi from Columbus Crew.
Tell you what. That's an interesting shout if he ends up carrying this team without the pieces they lost. Yeah. If that ends up happening, that is a crazy awesome shout, to be honest.
I mean, naturally, the responsibility is going to fall on him. He's the number 10 shirt. He's been in this league for a couple years with LAFC before going to Europe and then coming back. The one MLS Cup was, came in the midseason when they won it controversially because they had to get rid of Zelarian.
Yeah,
but I mean, still, he just kind of fit in there like a glove, and he's a damn good player to have.
He's been in the voting before for MVP for sure, right? Like he's been close.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's also won a Golden Boot in the COVID shortened season too. So
yeah,
he's not anybody to take lightly. I think that's a shout that went under the radar this weekend.
Yeah, because he had a couple goals himself, right? Again, he played Chicago, so. You take with that what you will, right? A little bit of grain of salt.
Smoking that Berhalter pack already.
That's crazy, bro. In fact, the Chicago fans, like John in the chat, not you, John, another John, in the chat, who are kind of like, just still fighting the good fight in the comments and whatnot. I think
I'm shocked that he is still putting up a fight.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, look, again, if they want to, by all means, guys, go for it. I'll be here at the end of the season to tell you I told you so. Okay, so we'll get to that point soon enough. And then finally, guys, to wrap up the video, just kind of curious, who's most excited right now? Which fan base out there is most excited about week 1 and can't wait to get to week 2? Who'd you guys have?
San Diego.
Yeah, that's a good one. Who'd you have, John?
I'm actually going to go San Jose again. And the reason is because San Jose have been at the bottom for so long, man. And it's like, San Jose fans finally have a reason to be excited. Like they finally have a reason to really want to go to the state. Maybe we're going to see that stadium actually fill up a little bit. Like I'm still a bit skeptical on how this is going to work out with all of these characters they have going on there with Joseph and Chicho and Bruce. Like something might go really badly. But for right now, The sun is shining over San Jose. Things are going well. Espinoza is looking like an absolute baller again. So, great for them. And it just, a club that has been like last year, remember, was it earlier in the year 24? You put them up and we did that prediction. It was a way too early prediction. At the bottom, you had San Jose, right? So look how far they come. So for me, I think they got to be hyped because they're no longer the wooden spoon.
Yeah, that was my exact same one. I think San Diego Davi is a good one. I mean, just in general, because everyone saw the images of their fan base, right? And Carson going ape shit as the game was going on.
Yeah. And now they get a home game, and now they get
I imagine the home game's going to be fire. But I actually agree. When you set a historical record negatively in a season for points accumulated, it's like your fan base has to be lower than anyone else's expectations. Like take anyone else's expectations for how those fans feel. And double that, right? Like those fans feel like, dude, we're at the absolute rock bottom of this league. I probably don't even want to watch that much anymore, right? I can't think of how many San Jose fans.
I think they also conceded the record most amount of goals in an MLS season as well.
Yeah, bro. I can't think of how many San Jose friends I actually have. I could probably count them all in one hand, like in terms of adamant fans.
Fabi Rankel talking about how he just give away tickets, and now because you get to that point where people just they're not interested. It's sad.
Bro, it's crazy. Yeah. And you mentioned Espinoza. Espinoza, I've always rated. I felt like I was on the show last year. We were talking about it, right, guys? I was like, dude, they need to get this man out of there. Like him and Abobasi need to be gone. I will take Espinoza in Dallas in a heartbeat. Like bring his ass over. Like he felt way too good for that team. And now, with him being patient, man, this team, at least offensively,
he believed in Maradona's nephew, man. He believed in him.
I guess, bro, that had to be it because I don't know. I mean, Espinoza, bro, he looks refreshed in a massive, massive way, ready to put 2024 behind him. So I'm with John, dude. This is my
vibes in general. Just San Jose offseason, even them in the game, man. They're having fun, which I'm sure obviously. Not only for the fans' perspective, but the locker room, the vibes are there. You just got some great locker room guys in Joseph Martinez and Chicho Arango. And you got Bruce Arena, the Bill Belichick with some controversy, of MLS, man. Like this guy, there you have to feel good, man. You're building, you got the culture, is to do your job attitude. That Bruce Arena knows how to get us in the right place, and they're doing everything right. The team, I'm going to say, look, it's a 2-2 draw, and I get all that. But if you're a Charlotte FC fan, seeing 2 goals and knowing that Zaha will hopefully be the next match,
that's fair.
You got to – I mean, I already know they're up in a high right now if you're a Charlotte FC fan. But, hey, North Carolina, I need you to start playing some Petey Pablo right now because take your shirt off and swing it like a helicopter.
Hell yeah. You should. Absolutely should.
This team is really good, and I just can't wait to – if you can score 2 goals right now without Zaha, maybe I'm overhyping Zaha, but I don't care. I love this man.
It was a good game too. It was actually a really good game to watch. Like I thought going back and forth.
And you played against Seattle.
Yeah. And Morris, I mean, on the other side too, Morris looked good for Seattle. Like the game itself as a neutral was fun to watch back and forth, and obviously that own goal at the very, very end of the game, dude, was just insane if you're a Charlotte fan.
You got to create your own look. Scared money don't make no money. So
yeah, fair, bro. Again, right, to walk out of Lumen Field with a point in your opening game of the season without your marquee signing from the previous window, probably a huge dub. I agree with that. I think that's a good one, and Charlotte fans will want to build on that. Want their team to build on that this coming weekend. We'll talk more about those matches, but. Yeah, bro, I agree with all of this, man. San Diego, San Jose, and Charlotte all have a lot. Those fan bases have a lot of reason to be excited for Match Day 2 based on what they saw from their respective teams in Match Day 1. But again, guys, if you have anything different, man, let us know in the comments down below. Seriously, anything. Any big performance, anybody you have as a way too early MVP candidate. I'd be curious to hear who those might be that could maybe in a meaningful way challenge Messi for the 2025 MVP. But I got a feeling the GOAT's going to find a way to pull it off again. We'll find out. But anyway, guys, that is it for this video. Again, guys, do me a favor really quickly. If you haven't done so already, if you enjoyed the content today, like the video down below, subscribe to Goals TV for more weekly MLS content. We're recapping match weeks as they go on. We're predicting the following match weeks as those come up, and we definitely want to get your opinion all along the way. So again, in the comments down below, let us know how you feel about those. And otherwise, keep an eye out for the reactions video coming. The predictions video for match day 2 coming very, very soon on the channel. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. From everybody here at Wake Up MLS, my name is Jose. That's Hector. That's Davi. That's John. We'll catch you guys next time.